Here it is, guys, my Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda Collection. I am very excited to do this episode. It was great gathering all this up. Some of it I haven't really touched in such a long time, just kind of away in storage. And yeah, this is, like I was saying, some of the reasons why I was so excited and why I really love this series, just because of the experience I had with it and the uniqueness I have with as far as the collectibles I've gathered over the years for this series. And we'll start off with the series itself. Season 1 came out on a really nice big box set like this with 5 different sections, each one containing multiple one-sided DVDs. And they're really great because a lot of newer series, when they've been re-released on DVD, have used that slimline casing. I love the bigger casing here and how each episode, each disc here has its own section. Really like this casing. Season 1's collection was really great. Sadly though, they changed it a bit and seasons 1 through 5 all come in collections like this. This is season 3. And this, they went down to the regular size DVD cases. Thankfully they didn't go to those really thin, like half-size ones they use for a lot of series now, but still it's regular size DVD. The sad thing is though, they cut the number of DVDs in half and made it those dreaded dual-sided DVDs, those ones that get really smudged up and scratched much more easily. Sadly, they kind of downgraded as far as the release of the series, but they still come in really nice box sets that look really great on the shelf and they're really good collector's items. Even better than that though, there was one big release, an item that tends to be kind of hard to find that just by luck my wife happened to know someone who had one that sold it to her for incredibly cheap. It was one of the first gifts she ever got me while we were still dating. I don't even think we were engaged yet at the time. And it is the Slipstream collection. The entire series in one giant amazing box set. This thing is so beautiful. It's an incredible box set, and they do go down to the really slim DVDs, but as a plus, they go back to the original number of DVDs, and they're all the really nice one-sided DVDs, and they have this really kind of cool blue glint and gleam to all the DVDs. It's a really great set. Really great quality. I've never had any problems. There are no missing special features, which I've seen with a lot of DVD sets from this time period, a lot of like 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Sometimes when they do these big group box sets, they leave out some of the special features that were on individual sets. This is everything, all-inclusive, an awesome DVD set, the Slipstream collection. Hard to find. Definitely, if you are enjoying the show at all, this is the must-have way to watch the show. Next is a somewhat failed aspect of the show's merchandising. They really tried to go the route of action figures, but in an interesting turn, instead of like with stuff like Star Trek, where they had the sort of average size action figures, they went with the big kind of, I guess you could say, Barbie-sized action figures. And they really didn't sell very well because the show wasn't doing incredibly great. These weren't marketed, and I think also because of the size, they were really just for collectors. They weren't really just normal action figures you'd buy a kid, say. And in that way, sadly, they only released Series 1. And Series 1, as you can see on the back here, only consisted of 4 of the main cast members from Season 1. And I have all of them here. Here's Dylan Hunt, Tiana Sazi, and right here we have Rev Bem. And then the first one I actually got, Becca Valentine. And sadly, because they only did Series 1, they didn't get to release all the characters they intended, so there's no Trans-Gemini figure, there's no Harper. Those were going to be in Series 2. And yeah, I really wish we got those, but sadly those action figures were a complete failure. And they're actually pretty hard to find, like everything involved with Andromeda. Not a lot was made with a lot of stuff. Another thing that not a lot of people know about, right here, we have a complete set of all the trading cards. Every single one from the entire series, seasons 1 through 5, all the characters, whole thing here, complete set. There's not a ton of them, but yeah, complete set in here. And this is actually a custom-made binder that I got from someone off of eBay right before the show's end. They were making a lot of custom-made stuff for merchandise and memorabilia, knowing that the show was ending and people were looking to grab stuff whenever they could. They also released a really cool series of books. Each one of these really helped to fill in some missing story arcs within the series, revealed a little bit more about Transgemini, and really added some more depth to the characters, particularly in the early seasons. And there are some really good backstory things to Becca Valentine and early days when Trance first came aboard, and what happened to Vespag, and stuff with Harper. Lots of really cool stuff that give you little details that are missing from the show. Now on to my pride and joy. These things are just amazing. These are props from the TV show. And again, that's one of the reasons why this show is so special to me. It's because I actually have props from the show, and it's the only show I have props from. It's just really, really cool. One here, this first one here, and this is special, you guys. This is the first time I've ever actually taken this out of the packaging. I've never taken it out of its clear packaging before this video. I wanted to do that to show you guys, give you a close-up. This right here is a prosthetic brain from the episode Mad to be Saved, primarily held by Lexa Doig. And yeah, this is an awesome prop. It looks fantastic. Hopefully the camera's catching all the different colors there in detail. It's a little bit hard, I know. But yeah, this is a wonderful prop. And this is a viewfinder, specifically from the episode, the Honey Offering, but it was actually used in multiple episodes. That's just what the prop credit is for this particular one. Really cool. Next, from the episode Dance of the Mayflies, we have these little medical patches here, and they're actually used in a whole bunch of episodes. Again, that's just the prop credit given to this particular set here. There was a couple of these used on set. Definitely a really cool item to have, just because it was something that was used by multiple characters. And then probably the coolest one, I wanted to save it till last, but it's sitting right here, and it's kind of like calling to me, from Great Neptune's Ocean in Season 1. Look at this thing right here. This is the presidential breastplate, and this is awesome. This is by far the coolest thing I have. I mean, it's a really great prop in and of itself, but this is actually the focal point of that entire episode. So it's an important prop. It's not just a background prop. It's not something that was interesting that a character held. It's actually a plot significant prop. So this is really, really cool to have. This is my pride and joy of this collection. Really cool. I love the presidential breastplate. This one is from the episode Twilight of the Idols, and this is from the sort of poker-ish based game you'll see them playing in Andromeda. It's really cool. Not a complete set of the cards, just a couple cards, a couple little prop pieces from the game here. And then from the episode A Heart for Falsehood Framed, we have a bottle of alcohol here, and this is actually used a couple different times in the series and said to hold a couple different kinds of alcohol, so it's not incredibly specific, but it is shown in a couple episodes on the Eureka Maru, and I think it's in the background once or twice on the Andromeda itself. So this is a really cool one, and it's nice because it feels so real, and it has a little bit of weight to it, and just looks beautiful. So those are really my pride and joy for my Andromeda collection, and what's really interesting is the story behind how I got them, and really ties in with the first video in the series I did talking a little bit about why the show is so special to me. This was the first time that I was really actively involved in the online community for a show, and one of the things was, as the show was ending, there was a huge auction. It took place over, I think it was less than 2 weeks, over eBay, and this was the first time I actually created an eBay account specifically to go on here, and it was right after I had my first job, just kind of over the summer and throughout the weekends, my last 2 years of high school, and I was going crazy trying to get this cool stuff, and I tried to be really smart, and that's how I was able to get so many props during this massive sale. I got these all at once. Because what I would do is I would look when things like what's called a hero prop, something that someone like Kevin Sorbo used regularly on the show, went on sale, or say a character's costume, like a High Guard uniform, or something like a Force Lance, something really special that tons of people were bidding on, and they were going for hundreds, in a couple cases thousands of dollars. I think one of Purple Trance's outfits went for like $3,000 or $4,000. It was crazy. So what I would do is I would look when those sales were ending, because they would stagger when all the different sales were ending throughout that last week. And I would look at props that not as many people were focused on, and they would typically have like 4 or 5, and sometimes up to like 6 or 7 props ending right around the same time, within an hour of each other. And when people were bidding like crazy on the big items, I was bidding with just a handful of people on some of the smaller items, and that's how I was able to get a lot of props. And it just happened to be that things like the presidential shield, which in my eyes would be kind of a big prop, happened to be up for sale at the same time as things like costumes Kevin Sorbo wore. So despite being a really cool prop that a lot of people would really want and enjoy for their collection, the best of the best was going up against it, so everyone was focused on that. It was a really cool experience. The only time I've had with anything like that, and probably will have in my lifetime, really, looking at the end of a show and getting in there with all the mega fans, trying to get a piece of that show to keep forever in my home. And then this folder here, this is the last thing. This is where I keep all the certificates of authenticity from Tribune Entertainment. Keep all those in here for everything, for the props, and also 2 certificates for these last 2 items here. I have a signed picture from Kevin Sorbo as Dylan Hunt. That's a really nice one here. And even better, I have one signed right here from Laura Bertram, my all-time celebrity crush as Trans Gemini, as Gold Trans specifically. So this is incredible. This is awesome. My wife got this for me, I think it was either birthday or Christmas. I want to say birthday, about 3 or 4 years ago. It was a while ago now. This is really awesome. So just great stuff. As you can see, I'm very passionate about this show, and these are just amazing collectibles they got from the show. I really had a great time doing this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love showing off this stuff again just because it has such meaning to me, and to be able to, physically hold a piece of a show that to me was important, less as a piece of entertainment and something that just was very personal and very meaningful for me. It's great to kind of have these things for all time, and it's just been a wonderful experience showing this stuff to you guys and really talking about and going through this show with you. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching my Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda month. And if you're just checking this one out and you missed out, go ahead. I made a whole playlist for this month's Gene Roddenberry Andromeda videos, and I really hope you enjoyed them. Hope you guys had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I will see you guys around.